Hello guys and welcome back to Championship Predictions. We are back, Sophie, for the midweek special. There's only 2 games until an international break and there's only 10 games left of the season. It's crunch time. How are you? And set us a like target.
I'm not bad. I know I didn't do very well against you last week, so that's why I'm not feeling as positive. But let's go for 2,500 likes. And
we can do that with your great support. Be sure to hit the like button. If you've not already subscribed, then be sure to do that as well. Thank you if you have. Your support has been amazing this season. Let's end on a strong note and push to 94k. The scores from last time, Sophie. 15-5, absolutely dreadful from you. But how good was that from me?
I was going to say, yeah, it's poor from me, but you got quite a few bang on there. So, yeah. Credit where credit's due. I
am pretty good at this predictions thing, Sophie. I have been doing it for a few years by now. On to the predictions, Sophie. We start at Turf Moor with Burnley versus West Bromwich Albion. If you were to freeze the table right now and end the season, these two would play each other in the playoffs, 3rd versus 6th. I think it'll be a good game. We've seen West Brom picking up some decent results lately. They just beat QPR 1-0, down to 10 men for half the game as well. Yes, yeah. And before that, they drew with Leeds. But, Sophie, Burnley, back-to-back wins, and they are cranking up the pressure on Leeds United and Sheffield United. This is tough. I think West Brom could snatch something, but Burnley are on a bit of a roll now.
They are. And they're putting a few past teams now as well. So it seems like they've got it clicking with going forwards. We know they've had it clicking defensively, but now they're looking solid. They're the team you don't want to play if they finish in the playoffs.
By the way, I swear in the last video I predicted West Brom to win 1-0 and Adam Armstrong to score.
You did, yeah.
That's not bad, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Burnley 1-0 this time. I think they might just edge it. It's no disgrace for West Brom to lose this game, but if they could take something from it, it'd give them confidence if they get into the playoffs and play a team like Burnley. Yeah. I'm going to go 1-0 though.
I'm going to go 2-0, just because a few times I've underestimated Burnley and said, oh, maybe it'll be 0-0, maybe it'll be 1-0, and then they've scored a few past teams. That's not saying anything against West Brom, because I think they're a solid team and they are capable of maybe getting something from this game, but I just think right now the role that Burnley are on, 2-0.
The Burnley roll.
Yeah.
They're on fire, mate. On to the next one, Sophie. A big game down at the bottom. Cardiff City versus Luton Town. This is absolutely huge. Do or die, really. You know, when you get into the final 10 games of the season, the pressure is on those teams in the bottom 3 to win these games because there's a little bit of a gap.
Starting to form, yeah.
Luton did get a good win against Pompey, but they lost 4-0 to Burnley, Sophie.
Yeah.
It's about how do you bounce back. It really has to be something. They can't lose this game, Sophie. Luton cannot afford to lose this. But I think they might. I think Cardiff are just a bit more streetwise this season, and although they've not had a great season, it does feel like they've been pulling away from the bottom 3 slowly but surely. Cardiff 2, Luton 1.
Yeah, I'm going for the exact same scoreline. I think Cardiff just edged this one. I thought Luton might be able to grind out a draw against Burnley. I didn't expect them to absolutely get pummeled 4-0. So they're going to want to not lose this one, but ultimately for the points they need to be winning this, especially because Cardiff is a team that they could drag into the bottom 3. Oh. But I don't see that happening at all. I think Cardiff are going to create a little bit more of a cushion there and they're going to pull away with the 3 points. So yeah, I'm in agreement 2-1.
And for the neutral, it's not going to be exciting if it stays like this, with the teams in the bottom 3 just not able to keep up with the teams above them.
No, I guess.
One of those teams in the bottom 3, Sophie, is Derby County, and they are at home to Coventry City. I will be streaming this game on Tuesday night, so do join us on the channel. A massive game at both ends of the table, Sophie. Derby, what a win. John Eustace finally gets a win, and it's against his old team, Blackburn.
So funny. It was just written in the stars, wasn't it?
It does concern me a little bit, that result, because you feel like Derby might have a little bit of confidence about them, and they have got the home advantage, but Coventry have won 9 in 10. It's just ridiculous at this point, and the scenes at the end with the last minute winner in front of a sold out crowd.
Yeah, insane.
I'm loving this season. Lampard, what a job you are doing. The players are playing out of their skins for you, and the fans are all on board. It does feel like we are maybe, due a loss because of the great run we're on, and it will happen out of the blue. It would be typical against a bottom 3 team, but these are hard games, you know, because Derby are going to scrap for the points.
Exactly.
It's also interesting, Sophie, because obviously at the weekend, John Eustace took on his former team, Mark Robbins took on his former team, and here, Frank Lampard takes on his former team. Sure. I'm going to go Derby 1, Coventry 2. I've got to back the Sky Blues, Sophie. Let's make it 10 wins from 11, and once again, I think it might be by 1 goal. Yeah,
I know a lot of people are saying, we just tend to win by 1 goal at the moment, so I think I might stick with that. I don't think I fancy us to keep a clean sheet, not against Derby, with them being the home side, so I'm in agreement again. I'm going to say 2-1 Cov. For me, it is dependent on the team that we've got available, because we did have a few players go off injured against Stoke. So you think if they're fit and we've got near enough our starting 11, then I think we should be able to win this one. But if we have got few key players injured, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, say, a draw or, God forbid, a Derby win. But no, I'm gonna remain positive. We're 9 out of 10. I'm hoping we can get another win here. So yeah, 2-1.
Remember, Derby's only away win came at Coventry, so either they're gonna do the double, or we're gonna give them 1 back. You know, we need to try and settle that score, I guess.
Yeah.
On to the next one, Sophie. At the Riverside, Middlesbrough versus Queen's Park Rangers. I don't know, I mean, a few weeks ago I thought these two were definitely involved in the playoff race. I still think Middlesbrough are. Not too sure about QPR, their results have really dried up. But I don't think QPR are a bad team. I like Cifuentes, I like their players, I like the way they play football, but they're just not getting anything. Yeah. And once again, Sophie, it's a missed opportunity if you're playing 10 men for the whole second half. To not get something at West Brom's very disappointing. Yeah. Middlesbrough, they lost to Swansea, and we're kind of in limbo again. Is Carrick going to stay? Is Carrick going to go? And he'll probably win this one now. But I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for a draw, which is not really much good for either team, actually. But there you go, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw as well. I might say 0-0. I think, if anything, right now, I'm not leaning towards Middlesbrough. I know QPR aren't on the best run of form either, but that performance against Swansea was really, really poor. I don't know what happened there, so could there maybe be a reaction in this one? You'd like to hope so if you're a Borough fan, but I think it'll be an unhelpful draw. 0-0.
0-0, yeah. There you go, 0-0 and 1-1. Yeah.
Exciting.
Who's that better result for, QPR?
Probably because they're the away side, yeah.
Oh, blimey. All right, share your thoughts on that one down below. The next one, Sophie, is this also a playoff matchup? Norwich versus Sheffield Wednesday? Not sure, you know. Norwich have had a nice run of fixtures, but they're not winning any of them.
Yeah.
And
fixtures have been nice. Performances haven't.
They drew with Oxford at home on the Friday night, and that to me felt like they're not quite going to do it, are they? Look, they could still do it. 10 games left. If Norwich win 7, they'll get to 70 points. They could, make the playoffs. But do they look like winning 7 out of 10 at the moment? No. Sheffield Wednesday, Sophie, they got a good win at Plymouth, 3-0. We'll come on to Plymouth in a bit, where I'm starting to think Plymouth's FA Cup run has really taken it out of them, and there's been so much travelling for them. But let's not take away from Sheffield Wednesday. Big win, and maybe they'll get something here which would give them confidence going into Sunday's game, Sophie. Sheffield Wednesday take on Sheffield United. That'll be
big
tasty.
Game, that.
I'm going to go for a draw here. Let's go Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
I fancy an away win. I think right now, the way Norwich are playing, they might take the lead and then go on to lose the game. I just don't fancy them. I'm not full of confidence watching them right now, which is weird because a few months ago, they seem to be on a good run of form, and you'd think, I fancy them here. But right now, I know Sheffield Wednesday, they're not in amazing form, but I guess you can't count them out of the playoffs either. I know there's still some teams that you think there's 10 games left, but I don't know, it is a bit of a big ask really, isn't it? I still think they'll get the win here though. I'm going to say 2-1 Wednesday. Big away win.
I think, to be honest, with the position these two are in, if either of them are going to make the playoffs, they have to win this game.
Yes, it's a big game.
Because you can start to see the finish line, and if you're going to make the playoffs, you've got to sprint. And we will see. Share your thoughts. I'm going for a draw. Sophie's going for Wednesday. And Danny roll. On to the next one, Sophie. Sunderland take on Preston North End. Sunderland, let's start with them, Sophie. 2-1 winners over Cardiff City, as I predicted. They take on Preston North End, Sophie, who lost 1-0 to Sheffield United, as I predicted. I'm rubbing it in now. That's not fair. I'm going to go Sunderland 2. Preston 1. I think Sunderland have gathered some momentum, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, after losing to Leeds and Hull, if they could just be consistent now, win the next 4 or 5, someone's going to slip up in front of them and they might be able to get back in there.
Yeah.
Preston, on the other hand, solid, but I really do think that focus is on the FA Cup right now because they're not making the playoffs, they're not going down. They could still cause some problems, but I'm going to go for Sunderland 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going for the same deficit. I'm saying Sunderland 1-0. I think it could be a low-scoring game, to be honest, but I think Sunderland have enough quality to just break the deadlock and then see it out 1-0. So, yeah, another 3 points for Sunderland.
Yeah, and winning is winning. Yeah, they just need to get 3 points on the board and keep moving up the table. And maybe the teams in front of them might slip up. One of them are Sheffield United, Sophie. They are at home to Bristol City. Before we talk about this game, can I just give some appreciation to Sheffield United, by the way? I've just got my tickets for Sheffield United versus Coventry away game in a couple of weeks' time. £20
for an adult. Yeah.
Well done, Sheffield United. That is brilliant pricing.
Yeah, great pricing. Considering where they are in the league and the size of the club and everything, a lot of big clubs charge big money to see them and then your own team. But no, fair play for Friday night, 20 quid for an adult, and the kids' price as well, very, very well priced. So well done.
Yeah, no, I like that. Well done, Sheffield United. And when you consider down the road at Hillsborough, it's going to be like 50 quid for Sheffield Wednesday v Sheffield United's tickets this Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a scam, that is. As for this game, Sophie, let's talk about it. Sheffield United keep winning. They won 1-0 against Preston. Bristol City with the draw against Hull, 1-1, as I predicted.
Yeah, and they were down to 10 as well, Hull.
Yeah, they were. So Hull score through João Pedro. He then gets sent off a minute later. At least Bristol came back to get a draw, but it might be 2 points dropped in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I think Bristol City could give a good account of themselves here, but you just see Blades like sneaking it over the line, just squeezing it. They just do enough, don't they, to win by 1 goal. I'm going to go 2-1 to Sheffield United.
See, I feel like 2-1 might play out, but I need to go different.
1-1. Oh.
Yeah, I feel like Bristol City, every so often, they put in like a really good performance. I know against Hull, that wasn't their best performance at all, but they were the more attacking team. I know, as I've said, Hull were down to 10, so that is a little bit easier. But if they can come here and grind out a draw against Sheffield United, that's a really good result. And I think they're going to have to battle hard for it. I think they might do it. So 1-1.
1-1?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bold. Okay, I like it though. Share your thoughts down below. The next game, Sophie, is a big one down towards the bottom as Hull City take on Oxford United. Now, Hull, a decent draw at Bristol City given the circumstances, I guess. They will be missing João Pedro though. That's a big blow.
Big miss, yeah.
Oxford United, let's give them credit, Sophie. Great draw at Norwich on the Friday. I don't think Oxford are going to win many games between now and the end of the season.
Draw maybe.
But one win and a few more draws, and they should stay up because
I think they'll stay up. To be honest,
they've already got quite a few points on the board.
Yeah.
I might go 1-1 here, which is not a bad result for either. When you consider Oxford are away, Hull are going to miss João Pedro. A draw and they both keep moving, is that not a bad result?
It's not really, considering they're both not in the bottom 3 at the moment. So if they can just keep adding a few points here and there, it's the other teams that are chasing and that's harder for them. So I'm in agreement again. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Yeah, I think both teams will be safe come the end of the season. I'm saying that now. And yeah, I think they'll both walk away with the point here.
I do like Sellers, but I just think Gary Rowett just knows how to come here and get something. Do you know what I mean? He'll just make sure he gets something. Do share your thoughts, Hull City and Oxford fans. We're both going for a draw and both saying that we think you're both going to stay up.
Yeah, I'd say that.
On to the next one, Sophie. We go to Ellen Road. It's Leeds versus Millwall. 2 of the more passionate fan bases in this division, should we say. Sophie, let's talk about Leeds. Wow. Okay.
What on earth?
1 point in 2 games. That is terrible from their standards.
It is. And I know people always say, oh, Leeds are bottling it, Leeds are bottling it. And I'm like, nah, they're not going to bottle it. And then they do that in the last couple of games. You think, ooh, okay. Because you've got Sheffield United and Burnley right on their tail. They're applying the pressure week after week, so you can't afford to be dropping many more points.
It's just weird, isn't it? They won the head-to-head games against Sunderland and Sheffield United with last-minute goals, and then they drop points like this. Look, we could all overreact and be like, oh, this is the end of the world. It isn't. I still think they've got the nicest fixtures, the best squad. I think with the home advantage, they'll go back to winning ways.
I think.
Yeah, I think Millwall are solid, and Millwall did win here in the FA Cup, but it was, different teams.
They rested a lot, didn't they?
I will go... Do you know what? Millwall could make it close. I reckon it'll be 0-0 towards the very end, and maybe Leeds get 1 or 2 late goals. Leeds 2-0.
I'm going to say 1-1. I think,
what?
Yeah, I think Leeds maybe draw again, because that against Portsmouth was below par for
By
their
the way,
standards.
they missed some big chances, didn't they?
Yeah.
Joel Perreault.
Oh, that was just shocking. He's a good finisher as well, so you'd expect him to put that in the back of the net to sky it over. It's poor. But then I think Millwall are capable of turning up, making it like a really, really nasty atmosphere and managing to walk away with the draw. So I'm saying it now, 1-1.
Oh, you could be right. You could
Maybe,
be.
yeah.
No, it's brave, but we'll see.
Leeds are obviously the favourites. You've gone for the favourites, so I'm going for
and that's why
draw.
I'm winning at predictions, because I'm not crazy. Right, on to the next one, Sophie. You might be right, by the way. It's Portsmouth versus Plymouth Argyle, a big battle down on the south coast. It's a big, is it a relegation 6-pointer? Not anymore, actually.
No.
Portsmouth, Sophie, 10 points clear of trouble.
Yep.
They're on a promotion charge.
They are. I mean, their home form is good, and we did say I think they'll get most of their points
Amazing.
at home. Yeah, Good's understanding it, but to win against Leeds, that was just insane. So
they've taken 4 points off Leeds. Remember, they drew 3-3 with them on the opening day.
You're right,
they could have beat them there as well. Is there anything more Portsmouth, by the way, than losing away at Luton 1-0 and then winning at home to Leeds 1-0? They're just so good at Fratton Park. And Plymouth come here tired, travelling everywhere.
At least this is a closer game though, isn't it?
It is slightly closer, but I still can't see past Portsmouth. I'm going to go Pompey 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. I was going to say 1-0, but I do see there being an extra goal, to be honest. So I'm not just going to say it to be different. I fancy Portsmouth to do it 2-0. I don't see Plymouth scoring in this one. I think Portsmouth will get the goals, get a clean sheet. And yeah, I don't think there's any risk of them going down, to be honest. They look just fine where they are. Plymouth, on the other hand, it's looking likely that they are going down now.
Plymouth have to try and get something. They do, don't they? Bless them. On to the next one, Sophie. We go to Vicarage Road. Watford versus Swansea. Sort of a mid-table matchup, I guess. But every time Watford win, I'm like, oh, they're not that far away from the playoffs. And then they lose. And they lost to Millwall at the weekend, Sophie, at home. It's not a good result. Swansea, they're sort of bouncing between okay results and bad results and good results. But back-to-back clean sheets. 0-0 at Preston. 1-0 win against Middlesbrough. They're doing a bit better now, aren't they?
Yeah, that's good.
I think I'll go for a draw here. I can't really separate them. I think Swansea have been a bit harder to beat recently. I'll go for a 1-1.
They have, but every so often I just fancy Watford to get like a random result, and I think maybe this could be the one where you think, okay, Swansea, are they maybe building something? And then Watford win like 2-0, and you think, oh, where did that come from? But it's the Championship, anything can happen. So Watford 2-0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go, it's quite different, isn't it? Watford 2-0 and a 1-1 draw. Okay, do share your thoughts down below. There's one last game to predict, Sophie. We go to Stoke City versus Blackburn Rovers. Let's start with Stoke, Sophie. Mark Robins, Stoke, they came to Coventry last week. They gave us a hell of a game.
They did. Second half, yeah. They were very, very good.
In typical Mark Robins fashion, as one or two of the commenters said, it was a really good comeback from Stoke. You know, he did that with Coventry before, and then there was late heartbreak, which happened with Coventry before. Give him time, and I think he could come good for Stoke.
Yeah.
I think I might fancy Stoke for this.
I do, actually. I didn't think you'd go for it.
Blackburn have lost back-to-back games under Ismail. I know it's a difficult time with the change in manager, but yeah, go on. Stoke 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going Stoke 2-1 as well. I thought that was a very, very good second half performance against Coventry for Stoke, and they will feel gutted to not get anything from that game, because you almost felt like a draw was fair, to be honest. And they're coming up against Blackburn, who aren't in the best of form right now, so I think it's a good time to play on. 2-1.
2-1, both back in Stoke. And so then, guys, there you have it. That wraps up our predictions for the Championship in midweek. We will be back with Championship predictions later this week after the midweek games. Do join me for a live stream on Tuesday for Derby versus Coventry. And we'll also have our Premier League predictions out at some point this week. There's so much going on. Thank you so much for your support, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.